For the Rural Radio Network, I'm Jayson Jorgensen. Earlier this summer, Bears legend and Super Bowl champion quarterback Jim McMahon made a stop in Omaha. He was the guest personality for the Omaha National Championship Techno Bowl tournament, and I asked McMahon how he ended up in Nebraska.
Well, I got a phone call from my producer who's doing my documentary, and he was involved in this event, and he said, would you come down and hang out for an hour or so with the people? And I said, sure, why not? I'm still recovering from, I had a surgery 8 months ago on my foot, and it's still bothering me and not walking, so I'm not doing a whole lot of traveling, but I thought, hell, we'll just come here for a couple of days and see this event and have a little bit of fun.
I'd seen the story on that. How are you doing? I think I'd seen 22nd surgery for you.
Yeah, it was going to be my 20th, ended up being 22. Had 3 surgeries, had an infection. They talked about amputating my foot, and that was a big no in my mind. Sure. So it's taken me this long to get this far, and at least the foot's still there, and hopefully it's going to start moving soon. Like I said, it's been 8 months, and it's just been frustrating, and it's the worst rehab that I've had of all my surgeries.
Jim, it's been a long time since you've thrown a pass in the NFL, but still, people are interested in you. We had folks here a good 2 hours before you got here. It's got to be humbling to know that, folks still remember you and did what you did in your NFL career.
Well, I think people remember the kind of fun that we had. Not only did we win a lot of games, and luckily we did win one Super Bowl. We should have won 2 or 3 more, but I think they just they identified with the fun that they saw us having. And it wasn't a whole lot of fun during the week. Believe me, with Coach Ditka and Buddy Ryan clashing heads the 7 years I was there. Buddy left the last 2 years. Buddy wasn't there, but our practices were more intense than games. And we played 4 games a week. That's how we figured it, because Wednesday, Thursday, Friday were like game days. There was no period where you could take any play off because everything was live. And Buddy used to tell his defense, don't hit number 34 and don't hit number 9. Everybody else you can hit. And they never hit 34, but they whacked me a couple times just to keep me on my toes.
Sharp.
But Sundays were the easy days. We look forward to Sundays because after going against that defense for 3 days in a row, the other ones didn't look so good.
We are joined by Jim McMahon with us in Omaha for our Omaha Techno Bowl tournament. You were kind of one of the ringleaders back then. You brought some fun. That was certainly an interesting mix of a roster and coaches, as you alluded to, as folks remember Ditka and Ryan.
Well, that was 2 big personalities, right off the bat, and it was Mike Ditka's first year, my first year as well, in 1982. So we weren't very good in 82 and 83. We started getting better in 84. We ended up going to the NFC Championship game in 84. And then the next 4 years we had home field advantage in the playoffs, and we just didn't take advantage of that other than 1985.
I'm sure you've been asked every question over the years, but what's maybe the biggest memory that you take away from those days, especially with Chicago? Have you ever bought a drink since then? You're still a legend.
Not many. That's what's great about Chicago fans. They understand the games. No matter what sport it is, they're a big, of course, Bear town and a big hockey town as well. And they love the Cubs or Sox, but it's basically a Bear town, and they understand that if you play hard for them, they love you. And then if you play hard for them and you win, they love you forever. And that's, it's been 37 years since we won, and it's still, that's pretty much all they talk about.
Now, I remember as a kid, I thought the Super Bowl shuffle was the neatest thing I ever saw. Do you remember when they brought up that idea, and what was the general sense of the team at the time on that?
Well, when the idea was brought to us, it was Willie Galt had a friend in the music business, and he said, guys, hey, we have an idea to make a record. This was how it came to us. We're going to make a record. And the proceeds would go to feeding the homeless on Thanksgiving and Christmas. And we thought, hey, that's a good idea for Chicago. So we all did our parts. We did the record. About 2 weeks after that, he came back to us and said, now we have to do a video. And we're like, no, that wasn't the deal. And so Walter Payton and I both said, we're not going to do the video because that wasn't in the deal. And they end up filming this stupid thing the day after we lose to Miami on Monday night.
Oh, my goodness.
That's the only loss of the
Yep.
season. We're in Miami, so we got home probably at 3 or 4 in the morning. They had to be at the studio at 8 or 9 in the morning. I think they were there for 8 or 9 hours. And Walter and I didn't go. And so a couple days after the filming, we got approached in the locker room and said that if we didn't do our parts, we were going to get sued. And so what you saw on that video was Walter and I were superimposed into the video. We did our parts after practice one day in the racquetball court at Hallis Hall.
So
the magic of television
even
stuck
back then.
oh, yeah. But, and it won't go away. I mean, everywhere I go, people still, hey, how about that shuffle? And we had a gold record and a platinum video. So, I mean, obviously people enjoyed it.
That was former Chicago Bears great Jim McMahon, who was in Omaha this summer. He is still a legend today. People still can't get enough of number 9. For the Rural Radio Network, I'm Jayson Jorgensen.